You haven't eaten in 3 days. Your stomach stopped aching hours ago. Now it just feels hollow, scraped clean from the inside. The midday sun bakes the back of your neck. The air is thick with the smell of dust and dry, dead grass. Then you see them. A cluster of berries, fat, glistening, deep purple, hanging low at the forest's edge. Your mouth floods with saliva. Your hand is already moving. But here is the problem. Your body cannot solve. Those berries might be food, or they might stop your heart inside an hour, and you have no way, none, to tell the difference. Today, you eat without fear. You walk into a store. Every item is tested, labeled, and guaranteed safe by an army of regulators. Your ancestors had no such luxury. They lived inside a chemistry lab designed to kill them. There are roughly 390,000 known plant species on Earth. A staggering number of them are toxic. They cannot run from predators, so they fight with poison. Alkaloids, glycosides, compounds engineered over millions of years to shut down a nervous system. And humans walked in with no defense. A deer mostly knows what to avoid. A koala's liver is built to detoxify eucalyptus. These animals carry specialized instincts and enzymes hardwired by evolution. You carry none of that. There is no instinct in your brain that screams death when you look at a leaf. You have to learn by eating. And the wilderness rigged that test to be unwinnable. Take the death cap mushroom. It does not taste bitter or foul. Survivors describe it as pleasant. You eat it. Nothing happens. 6 hours pass. 12. You feel fine. And then your liver begins to dissolve. Half a single cap can kill a grown adult. Or water. Hemlock. Its toxin, cicutoxin, triggers violent seizures within minutes of a single bite. One plant punishes you instantly. The other waits half a day, long after you've forgotten you ate it. You cannot learn from a poison that hides its own crime. By every metric, we should have eaten ourselves into extinction. So, we built a defense system out of nothing. Weapon 1, the bitter alarm. The problem was that we had no warning sense, so evolution gave us a tripwire. Many plant toxins, especially alkaloids, share one trait. They taste intensely, violently bitter. Our ancestors couldn't see poison, but they could taste its signature. So the human genome built a detector. We carry around 25 separate bitter taste receptor genes, far more than for any other flavor. One of them, TAS2R38, locks onto the bitter compounds found in toxic plants, like a key in a lock. Here is the elegant part. This sensitivity is not equal. Children and pregnant women taste bitterness far more sharply than anyone else. Evolution turned up the alarm loudest for the most vulnerable bodies in the tribe, the ones a single mistake would cost the most. But bitterness was only a first filter. Remember the death cap. It isn't bitter at all. The alarm had a blind spot, so we needed more. Weapon 2, the living database. The problem was that one human lifetime is too short to test an entire continent of plants. So humans stopped guessing and started cataloging. Not just food versus poison, but medicine. In 2012, researchers analyzed the dental calculus, hardened plaque, scraped from Neanderthals at El Cedron Cave in Spain. These individuals lived around 49,000 years ago. Trapped in their teeth were traces of yarrow and chamomile. Both plants are bitter, Both offer almost no calories. There is no reason to eat them for food, but both have medicinal properties. These Neanderthals weren't eating randomly. They were distinguishing a plant's chemistry from its nutrition, selecting compounds on purpose. Fast forward to Ötzi, the 5,300-year-old Iceman found frozen in the Alps. In his gear, he carried pieces of birch polypore fungus, a natural antiparasitic. His gut was infected with whipworm. We weren't just avoiding poison. We were building a pharmacy. Weapon 3, fire and the art of detox. The problem was the cruelest trap of all. Some of the most calorie-dense plants on Earth are also lethally toxic. Nature locked the richest food behind a chemical vault. The observation was that heat, water, and time change a plant's chemistry, so humans became chemists. Look at cassava, a root that feeds millions today. Raw, it contains linamarin, a compound that releases hydrogen cyanide inside your body. Eat it unprocessed for long enough, and it causes konzo, a permanent paralysis. Indigenous people of the Amazon cracked it. Anyway, they grate it, soak it, press the poison out, then cook it. A multi-step ritual that strips the cyanide and leaves only food. Nobody understood the molecule. They understood the procedure, and they never broke it. The same logic detoxified acorns. Raw acorns are packed with bitter tannins, so cultures across the world leached them in running water for hours, washing the poison downstream. At Ohalo 2, a 23,000-year-old camp on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, archaeologists found evidence of sophisticated plant processing across roughly 140 species. We were engineering our food long before farming existed. Weapon 4, the encoded warning. The final problem was the most haunting. The person who eats a fatal plant cannot warn anyone. The lesson dies with them. The solution was to make knowledge outlive the body. Humans wrapped their hard-won data inside language, stories, names, taboos. A rule that says never touch the white berries doesn't need to explain the toxicology. It just has to survive. Today, hunter-gatherer communities can still name and classify hundreds of plant species from memory. Which heals, which feeds, which kills. That is not instinct. It is an inherited library, copied from mind to mind across thousands of years. The individual forgot. The tribe never did. Think about what every safe meal really cost. Every plant on your plate was paid for. Somewhere, far back in the dark, a person tasted it first. Most of the time, they lived, and that knowledge became a gift. Sometimes, they didn't. And their death became the warning. That is the quiet truth buried in human survival. A taboo is a memorial. Every never eat this is a name nobody wrote down. A person who tested the unknown so the children behind them wouldn't have to. This is why the grandmother mattered more than the strongest hunter. She carried the map. She remembered the bitter root that saved a fevered child, and the sweet berry that killed one. Her memory was the difference between a tribe that ate and a tribe that vanished. They protected that knowledge the way they protected their young. They turned up the bitter alarm loudest in the mouths of children and mothers. They wrapped poison in stories so even a frightened 5-year-old refused the deadly thing. They built a wall of inherited caution around the people they loved most. The next time you bite into an apple without a flicker of fear, understand what you're holding. That certainty isn't instinct, it's inheritance. 100,000 years of cautious tasting, of fatal mistakes, of warnings whispered from a dying parent to a listening child, again and again and again. And over time, that was enough.